Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's presentation, Pandemic Equity Attestation for Compliance in Response to the COVID-19 Disaster. I'm Jim Surqua from the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, and will be your moderator for this session today. Before we begin, I just want to touch on a couple of housekeeping items. Your phones and computer microphones have been muted. We ask that you keep them muted during the entire presentation. And we expect this to run about 30 minutes or less. If you have any questions during the session, please submit it and include the type of organization that you represent in the chat function or the Q&A section, which should be available at the bottom of your WebEx window. I'd like to welcome today's presenter, my colleague, Philip Grantham, and I will turn the microphone over to him at this time. Philip?
Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon. My name is Philip Grantham, Public Assistance Disaster Assistance Representative with New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services. Welcome to the briefing for DR 4480 COVID-19 Pandemic Equity Compliance Attestation for Compliance. Next slide, please. Applicants are requested to complete the Attestation of Compliance for ensuring limited resources, supplies, and equipment were equitably distributed across all facilities. DHSES requests that applicants sign and return this form to close COVID-19 public assistance projects once the work is completed. Submit this form one time only and prior to closing the last project. Applicants should send their signed forms to the disaster assistance representatives, who will then submit their forms to the disaster assistance managers. March 15th, 2021 Job Aid, available on the DHSES website, provides the steps recipients and applicants must take to document their pandemic response and recovery efforts are conducted in an equitable manner to communities of color and other underserved populations. Equity considerations apply to all COVID-19 work. FEMA will monitor compliance with this grant condition in concert with federal regulations and laws. These provisions are discussed with additional detail and specific reporting requirements in the medical care policy. We urge you to visit the DHSES website frequently as FEMA policies continue to evolve and changes are posted. This presentation, along with that attestation of compliance, are available on the DHSES site. Here's the office contact information. If you have any future questions, we recommend you speak with your disaster assistance representative. If you are unaware of who your disaster assistance representative is, you can reach out to Corinne Francini. Her email will be posted in this chat, along with she is the person who sent you the original invite for this presentation. Now, I hope that I didn't run through that a little too quickly for some, but we want to open up to questions for those that might have any related to the attestation for compliance.
Hey, Phil, this is Mimi, also at DHSES, and just in terms of a little bit of background here for folks on the phone, we're doing this because in January of 2021, President Biden did sign into effect an executive order on ensuring an equitable response and recovery to the pandemic. We have here at DHSES requested on multiple occasions some clarification from FEMA about what, in fact, that executive order means as we move forward with, rolling out the PA dollars. This is our best attempt at avoiding risk and demonstrating compliance with that executive order. And so we hope that you all take a look at this form and complete it and submit it to DHSES so that we can move towards closing as many projects as possible. So I just wanted to offer that in terms of background, and let folks know that, you know, we're in this together with you.
Thank you, Mimi.
All right, questions are coming into the Q&A box. And the first one, will this presentation be available?
So yes, this presentation will be, and it's actually currently available on the website. If you actually, Jim, if you go up one slide, so that link right there at the bottom will connect any applicant to the DHSES website, where they can look at ongoing current disaster information, and the DR 4480 disaster information is posted there along with this specific presentation and the attestation itself.
Oh, that answers a couple of questions. Where do I find the form? So it's on the DHSES website. We do have a question. Can you review what we have to submit?
So specifically with this presentation and what this is referring to, this is actually a single page document that you'll sign. And it is a very simple information that you'll be provided to clarify. If you're asking questions about, other submission requirements, those questions would be better directed towards your disaster assistance representative, because they'll pertain directly to the effort or work that you as an applicant performed.
All right, next question. Who signs the attestation of compliance?
So it should be the individual that's identified as the primary point of contact for you as the applicant. So depending on how your agency is set up, that may differ. But that information is generally the same staff contact that might be listed in grants portal. If you're not sure who the primary point of contact is listed, that might be a question specifically for your disaster assistance representative. They'll be able to clarify who is showing as listed as the primary to clear that up.
And next question, do we upload it to the grants portal?
No, this form does not get uploaded to the grants portal. It's a great question. This form will be sent to your disaster assistance representative, and they'll send it up for DHSES to have on file. And if FEMA requests it in the future, your DHSES disaster assistance representative will be able to provide it then. But this form does not get uploaded into grants portal.
Next question, I'm trying to determine if my organization needs to fill out this form.
So if your organization is one that's applying for FEMA grant funding for DR 4480, which is the COVID response, then DHSES is requesting that you complete this form. So this form is specifically for applicants requesting federal reimbursement for costs related to DR 4480, the COVID-19 response.
Thank you. And our next one is a request if we could return to the slide that shows the form, and I will indeed do that.
Yeah, so just to clarify for that, it's a single page. There's a spot for you to place your applicant name, like the agency name, to put your name as the individual as the point of contact, and then a spot for signature and a date.
And just going back, reviewing once again, where can the applicants find this form?
Sure thing. So this form can be located on the DHSES website. And so that's the website link that was shown previously in this presentation. And we recommend that you check this site for additional information related to the disaster and policies that might come out. But this specific form and this presentation are located on that site under DR 4480, located under the FEMA policy section. If you scroll down, It is labeled the New York State 4480 COVID-19 Pandemic Equity Attestation for Compliance. And then the presentation is labeled that same thing, but with presentation.
Excellent. Next up, if my organization has several 4480 projects, is an attestation form required for each project?
That's a great question. No, you'll only be submitting a single form for your entire application for DR 4480, not for each project. And you only need to submit one form, and it will only be for DR 4480 at this point, and one time only.
Okay, that was the final question entered. I guess we could give it another minute. See if others are submitted.
If I might actually place this link in the chat, so that way it may be available directly for anyone seeing the presentation. Jim, can you confirm that that link is popping up now in the chat for others to see?
I do see it.
So that'll direct you directly to the attestation for compliance for anyone that's looking for it. And then I can also place the link for the presentation itself. And then I'll place the the link that's listed here for the DR. And I recommend anyone that's an applicant with ongoing requests for FEMA reimbursement to be familiar with the DHSES website, because in addition to the attestation for compliance, it offers a lot of additional resources and information pertaining to this disaster.
Another question has arrived for clarification. Do we submit this only after all projects are completed?
So your disaster assistance representative or myself may be asking for it at that point, but you could theoretically submit this to your disaster assistance representative today.
And we would encourage folks, this is Mimi Weber again from DHSES, we are highly encouraging folks to get this form in as quickly as possible. You know, from our perspective, there's no reason to delay. We don't think that, you know, what your behavior in the past is going to change your behavior in the future. So please, you know, given the time frames that are coming down from FEMA, please do not delay in getting this form submitted. We will be hosting this session again for folks who just aren't ready to submit a couple more times throughout this year, but I'm sure folks are well aware that, you know, the deadlines are fast approaching, and we want to get things in. We don't want any crises to occur, and we want everybody to be fully reimbursed. So please don't hesitate.
And one more time, Philip, who signs this? Does it have to be the agency head or the person of contact in grants portal?
In general, it'd be what is the same person that's listed as the primary point of contact in grants portal. So that might differ depending on how your agency is structured, but that, you know, is generally listed as a primary point of contact that signs off for other forms and things relating to this. That's the person we're requesting sign this.
Okay, I'm reviewing the chat box. I do not see any additional questions. I'll ask the rest of our panel to check as well in case something came in privately.
This is Mimi. I'm not seeing anything.
Okay.
Philip?
No, I'm
Corinne?
not seeing any additional questions.
Great.
Okay, Corinne has sent me one. An applicant or a participant today late, and they may have missed this, but I submitted all of my documents. Any time frame on receiving funds?
So I actually now I'm seeing a different question, but just that type of question, because it's not directly related to the attestation for compliance, I would recommend you direct that question at your disaster assistance representative. They should have a better awareness of your project status or the type of funding request that you've made. So I'm going to recommend you reach out to that individual. And I'm going to give that same information with one of the questions we had here that I see now in the chat. What is the deadline for all reimbursement for DR 4488? I'm not sure if that meant to be 4480, but so I would also recommend addressing that question directly to your disaster assistance representative.
And I would like to add, if you're not aware of who your disaster assistance representative is, you can reach out to Corinne Francini at DHSES. Her email address has been pushed to the chat box. And she was also the one sending you the invitation for this webinar today. I'm not seeing any additional questions, Philip. If you or Mimi, you're ready for a closing commentary.
Just thank everybody for being on the phone. I literally think I can hear the daffodils and the tulips popping outside. So I hope everybody has a wonderful spring and stays safe and healthy.
Yeah, just similar lines. Want to say thank you all for attending. If you find that you have an additional question related to this, you can reach out to your disaster assistance representative. If they have any questions that they can't answer, they'll just let me know, and we'll do our best to follow up or stay in touch to be able to answer any questions you have about the attestation for compliance. Thank you all for participating.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Mimi. That wraps up our question and answer portion and will conclude our presentation. So on behalf of everyone here at DHSES, I would like to thank you for joining us today and invite you to visit our website for updated information and to download a copy of this presentation. Have a great day. Bye now.